If you want to make maps for CSGO, you need the Source SDK. This is a great piece of software, found in the Steam Tools section. The Hammer editor is part of this package, and is the map editor, letting you design and decorate your own map layouts. I strongly urge you give it a go, even if you're only slightly curious about it. I've had thousands of hours of fun from this piece of software. What's great about it is that CSGO's bots can automatically learn new layouts, so you can easily test what you make with them. It's weird to load your own map up for the first time, only to discover that bots already know it better than you do. If you're interested in mapping, I have a load of tutorials to help get you started. There's just one thing. The Source SDK isn't free. This wasn't a problem when you had to buy CSGO, because once you had, you immediately got access to this as well and nobody thought anything of it. But now the game's free to play, a lot of people assume the Source SDK should be free as well. But it isn't. It won't be unlocked when you level up your account to Prime status either. If you want to make maps for CSGO, you have to buy the game, even though the game itself is now free to play. This is something I even reached out to Valve about, and they confirmed that this was intentional. But I still don't know why they've chosen to keep the Source SDK behind a price barrier. One reason you might think would be to cut down on the amount of workshop spam that's been plaguing the community workshop page for years, where bot farms would upvote adverts and mass downvote all the wonderful maps that people had spent dozens of hours lovingly creating. Having to pay for an account every time will at least act as a kind of barrier. But this isn't the case here, because while FreeClick's Philip was unable to load the editor without buying Prime, he was still able to use the workshop publisher to upload maps to the workshop. So it seems like this price barrier is strictly to prevent access from the creative parts of the mapping process. Which is a shame, as I'm sure there's a great map inside all of us, and it seems like many will never be seen just because the software to make it needs to be bought. But then again, we're talking about £11 here. $15. That isn't Photoshop money. That isn't even WinRAR. That's the price of a cheap game on a Steam sale, or the cost of a few digital skins. I don't really want to get into the whole discussion of whether you have $15 to spare or not, because obviously everybody who reaches out to me complaining about the cost insists that they don't have $15 and that there's literally no way they can get that much. I can sympathise because until I was 16, I too was heavily reliant on saving up my £1.50 a week pocket money for the stuff that I wanted, and if I couldn't get something, I'd have to wait for birthdays or Christmases instead. But for the rest of you who can afford or save $15 if you wanted, but instead choose not to, maybe so that you can get a few more skin crates instead, or maybe because you feel entitled to free software, you're the kind of person who simply needs to budget better, or to sell a few of those skins that you already own to make funds for it. Whatever situation you find yourself in, I can just say that the Source SDK has been worth far more to me than the value I've gotten from the game it's been bundled with. Simply to make a level that's just a load of collapsing platforms, or one where you have to rush down a maze of platforms to reach the weapons at the bottom, or for the opportunity to make a trebuchet to crush a bunch of Combine, or to enact out a Judith Mossman fantasy I've always had, or to enact out that Finding Nemo fantasy I've always had. Or, you know, to make a map. I know already that you have something to say about this, if not about the maps you would make if given this for free, then maybe on the $15 asking price, and whether or not that's unreasonable. Should the game going free to play also entitle you to use the editor for it for free? Should they offer a cut down free edition? Or should they up the price of CSGO to $15 again and be done with it?